Over 1,400 years ago, a small group of men were searching for a place to practice their religion in solitude and isolation. It was barely 500 years since the death of Christ, and these remarkable men ventured into the open ocean of southwest Ireland, determined to build a monastery on one of the most extraordinary locations on earth. The Kerry Islands are two massive rocks lying 12 kilometers out into the Atlantic Ocean, and 1,400 years ago, they sat on the very edge of the known world. Beyond the two islands lay the void of an open ocean, seemingly without end. For their citadel, the monks chose the larger of the two islands, Kerry-Part, and began building a retreat that remains to this day one of the most remarkable testaments to human faith on earth. Kerry represented a place apart from civilization, where through prayer and hardship they could apparently come closer to God. The isolation of Kerry-Part was ideal, sheer and intimidating, with little shelter from the storms that raged in from the open Atlantic. Savage ocean could symbolize the monks' own struggle for survival and enlightenment. Saint Kerry was a leader of these early monks, and while they chose a rock with virtually no soil to grow food, there were other ways of scraping a living from the skerries, from both above and below the waves. With some hard-earned hunting skills, Kerry's wild birds and animals could provide enough sustenance to survive. The smaller of the two islands, Kerry-Part, is home to the second largest gannet colony in the world today, with some 50,000 individuals. These striking birds would provide meat and feathers for monks, and in all probability betray the variety necessities of life. In spring and summer, the eggs of the guillemots and kittiwakes would provide a welcome change in the monk's diet. A brace of fat puffins might be traded for corn or barley on the mainland. Of the ocean, the grey seals, would provide a virtual feast for the monks, if they were quick enough to catch them. But the most difficult challenge of all for the monks was carving a life out of the sheer rock. To tame the sandstone of the Kerry, to find living space, the monks first had to climb, and to climb they needed steps, hundreds of them. Generation after generation of men began to build a staircase to the heavens, and not just one staircase, but three huge undertakings from all sides of the island. Each stone carved by hand from the solid rock with the simplest tools. Massive flagstones cut and Ages gripped continental Europe. Finally, the monks reached their summit. On the edge of a cliff, almost 200 meters above the waves, they built a monastery and a home. Such was their skill and dedication that the terraces and dry stone walls survive intact to this day, making it the UNESCO World Heritage Site of outstanding universal value, the world's most striking example of early Christian architecture. It's hard to say how many men lived and prayed in this monastery at one time. At least 12. Perhaps harking back to that ancient symbolic number revered by both Christian and Celtic deities. But so vast is the scale of the stonework and the effort required that the building of Skellig Monastery in terraces must have taken many generations of monks over many centuries. The illuminated manuscripts that survive today show that men came and went, sometimes leaving the rock for many years before their return. If the monastery was not remote enough, there were some monks who sought even greater isolation. Across a chasm from the beehive cells is another pinnacle, the highest peak on the island. Up here, on a tiny ledge a few meters below the summit, they created a place for hermits. Today the ledge holds the remains of a small cell or oratory, and carved out of the solid rock to one side, 2 cisterns, basins where rainwater would gather. Maybe here, man could be even closer to God. Perhaps this place was also built for protection, as access by a precipitous staircase was easily defended. For Skellig was not always so peaceful. A reign of terror descended in the 9th and 10th centuries, when the slender longships of the Vikings first made their appearance in these waters. Raiding monasteries the length of Ireland, Skellig did not escape their attention. He plundered perhaps as many as 4 times. Monks were abducted for ransom or slavery, or just killed in the search for monastic treasure. But the monastery survived these raids, lasting into the 10th and 11th centuries, when a new rectangular church was built, its arched windows symbolizing a new Augustinian order of Christianity in Ireland, and an establishment of drawing monks away from isolated outposts like Skellig to the more controlled confines of large mainland monasteries. It is thought that Skellig's monastery was finally abandoned 1,000 years ago, sometime in the 12th century, leaving behind the testimony to a unique way of life for the many pilgrims that would follow this ancient path to this very day. The buildings that remain today resonate with the devotion and skill of their creators, an extraordinary testament to the power of faith and the celebration of God. Truly is a place apart, and to this day remains an island on the very edge of the world.
Going to the next one, which is, I don't know yet. So, we're on a cliff! Up on a cliff. We found mini strawberries. Gonna eat them now. Yum. Little sour, but yum. Let's keep it going. Don't know where we're going again. We're going to somebody's house. Rock says something. Okay, I don't care. Oh, mini house. Awesome. This is a big plant. Don't know what it's called. Let's keep on going into the woods. Pretty scary place. God. Guys, listen.